Hello there, and welcome back to the channel. On February 21st of this year, North Korea stole $1.5 billion worth of digital assets. This was taken from Bybit, a cryptocurrency exchange, by compromising one of their offline wallets. This is obviously pretty insane. Kim Jong-un's gotta be feeling like Mr. Krabs right now.
I feel so alive! Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching-gery. Money, oh money, how I love thee!
But as crazy as this doesn't entirely surprise me. Of course, there's been a lot of talk about the crypto space recently with new pump and dumps every day. But of all things, somehow The Flash predicted this culture of mainstream crypto theft back in 2021. You know, The Flash has always been ahead of the race, whether it comes to slick costume designs, the multiverse, and apparently now, it's with crypto. In today's episode, I'm going to go over how one episode of The Flash essentially predicted the future of finance. Now, I'm going to go over more broad strokes when it comes to these crypto schemes, but if you want an in-depth analysis of the North Korea heist, I highly recommend you check out Mudahar's video discussing it. And of course, if you like what you see, leave a like on the video and subscribe for more content. So, let me give a brief summary of the Flash episode. This was in Season 8, Episode 1. The episode begins with Barry and Caitlin at a coffee shop. They receive an alert that there are two runaway trains on a collision course. The Flash quickly runs over to where the trains are and gets everyone off them before they collide. He saved everyone in 12 seconds. That's a pretty awesome speed feat if you ask me. Meanwhile, a group called the Royal Flush Gang infiltrate essentially the equivalent of Nvidia and steal a powerful computer chip. Barry sees that both the train collision and the chip heist had similar burn marks, making him wonder if there was a connection. This was especially weird because the Royal Flush Gang's MO was robbing casinos. Why were they going after the tech industry? They then broke into Iron Heights to kidnap a prisoner, who was later revealed to be a hacker. Barry's friend Chester makes some sort of comment about gambling with cryptocurrency, which makes him think that maybe the Royal Flush Gang never changed their MO. It turns out that each casino in Central City accepted cryptocurrency, and the Metagang was planning on stealing $50 million in digital assets. They caused a train collision to steal a power core, which would supply their newly acquired chip, which would be operated by the hacker to steal the money. Of course, the Flash was able to detect where they were based on the hack and quickly defeated them. Side note here, I loved this scene. I mean, he completely overpowers them and is doing it so nonchalantly. This dude is just smiling the whole way through. This is the type of stuff I like to see with speedsters.
You can read minds. I can think at super speed.
Your thoughts after I read them, you reshuffled the deck.
I guess the house doesn't always win.
Now, I know this is all pretty silly with the cheesy dialogue and the comically evil villains, but stealing $1.5 billion to fund your nuclear warheads isn't so funny. As much as The Flash is just trying to have fun with this episode, it really did predict what the current climate of finance is. You've got this huge crypto craze with all these influential people trying to get the common person to buy into it, and you essentially have one of these crypto heists every day. I don't think people actually understand the amount of money involved or the severity of the problem. Because it's not just petty criminals or influencers trying to steal money through crypto anymore. It's entire governments. And look, this video isn't just to say, oh, crypto is bad, don't ever invest in it. I can see the appeal to deregulated currency. But unfortunately, that means the space is rife with scams and other criminal activity because there's no real security in any of it. So, obviously, the most one-to-one comparison with The Flash is the North Korea cyber attack. From what we know, this wasn't as elaborate as what happened in The Flash, but it was basically an online heist. North Korea targeted what's known as a cold wallet. This is basically an offline wallet that's used for security purposes.
Ironic.
According to Forbes, the breach happened during a routine transfer from this cold wallet to an online warm wallet. The warm wallet is used for daily operations of Bybit. This could go from maintenance to handling exchanges and what have you. Now, these wallets are what's known as multi-sigs or multiple signature wallets. As the name suggests, you need multiple people to sign off any transaction. However, what ended up happening was that North Korean hackers were able to mask themselves in this entire process and steal all the money from the cold wallet. I'm not going to go too deep into how they did this. To be honest, I'm not the most knowledgeable on this stuff. Again, you should watch Mudahar's video afterwards to get a better grasp of all this. But to briefly explain what happened, I'll read what Forbes said. The attackers manipulated the transaction by masking the signing interference. This deception displayed the correct address while altering the underlying smart contract logic, enabling unauthorized access to the wallet. The attackers utilized advanced phishing techniques and social engineering to gain initial access to internal credentials, which were then used to bypass security protocols. So it's the old, "Hi, this is Microsoft" situation.
How do you do, fellow kids?
What?
Okay, I'm probably being too harsh here. Like, this was obviously much more sophisticated than a hacker calling your grandma, but it's just crazy that North Korea stole over $1 billion with just an elaborate phishing scheme. The equivalent for the Royal Flush Gang is believed to be an entity known as the Lazarus Group. These are also the same guys who hacked Sony back in 2014 because Sony was about to release The Interview. Great movie, by the way.
You're just a flawed man with a big old butthole. And you pee and poo like the rest of us.
So, there are two government agencies that seem to be affiliated with this particular hack. The first one is Bureau 121. They're the main unit of the RGB, which is basically North Korea's CIA, to put it simply. Their biggest focus is on cyber warfare, most notably espionage and cyber-enabled finance crime. The second organization is known as Bureau 39. Their main interest is to get money through the foreign currency slush fund. In other words, they illegally obtain this money through counterfeiting, making fake businesses, or in today's case, hacking into cryptocurrency exchanges. Oh, and apparently they've peddled fake Viagra before.
Oh, no. That ain't right.
So fellas, be careful what you're using out there. Whether or not this was a solo mission or a joint operation, clearly this is a big problem. Again, a group of people pretending to be a hand of cards might seem silly, but North Korea has been employing this exact behavior for years at this point. I mean, they've quite literally stolen billions of dollars from hacks like this into other cryptocurrency exchanges. And unfortunately, it's not like the Flash can go in and stop these hacks. The billions of dollars North Korea has stolen is probably lost forever. Now, I wish this crypto theft stuff was only being done by comically evil entities like North Korea, but of course, we live in a society. Like I mentioned earlier, crypto heists basically happen every day now. This is in the form of pump and dump schemes. What happens is an influential person announces they're launching a crypto coin. They get people all hyped so they buy into the coin. Then when the value reaches a certain point, the whole thing comes crashing down with a rug pull. People give excuses saying, well, this is just gambling. It's your fault for losing and for playing the game. But this isn't gambling because you have zero chances of winning. This is because the people who benefit from these coins are insiders and snipers. They steal all the money while everyone who put money in loses. Again, let's go back to the Flash for this analogy. Let's say Chester decided to play poker at Keystone Craps. He wouldn't just be going up against the house. The owners of Keystone Craps, their friends who knew about the gambling, and the Royal Flush Gang, who are the snipers, would steal all of Chester's money. I think we can all see why this is a problem. For a while, this type of activity was done by online influencers, but now it's reached a point where entire governments are rug pulling their audiences. Most notably, the president of Argentina, Javier Milei, promoted a coin called Libra. The quote-unquote intent was to support the Argentinian economy by helping small businesses. But soon after the promotion, the coin plummeted in price. The people of Argentina ended up losing about $100 million because of this scam. Now, it does look like Milei might be impeached for this, so at least there's some justice being done here. But whether the people will ever see this money again is still up for debate. CoffeeZilla just did an interview with one of the creators of Libra, which I highly recommend you check out as well. In the interview, he admitted to sniping the launch of Libra and Melania coin.
So, but if you launch the coin, isn't it unfair for you to snipe the coin?
So, I would say no, and I would say that for a couple different reasons. Number one, a lot of the times when, and again, this is it's a much larger conversation, which is what I told you in text. But most of the time when I have different money in different places, obviously. But from the standpoint of sniping, most of the time when we're sniping, we're attempting to avoid other snipers getting in. right?
This type of behavior seems to be rampant in today's society. I mean, it goes from 11-year-olds to influencers to presidents. Somehow, a side plot in one episode of The Flash really predicted the mainstream state of finance. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like many institutions care that much about all this. Look, we can point fingers at crypto bros and gamblers all day, but at the end of all this, people are still being hurt. These are people who believe in Trump and Milei, people who believe by investing in these coins, they can have a financially stable future. But because people don't know better, these coins end up taking people's livelihoods. This type of activity is happening every day, and the schemes only seem to be getting bigger. It seems like the only ones willing to do something about this are people like the Flash, borderline vigilantes going out of their way to confront crime, people like CoffeeZilla, people like Zach XBT, people like some ordinary gamers. As much as I love characters like the Flash and Daredevil, they should not be the ones responsible for fighting crimes. Our governments should be the ones doing that, not promoting them. While I hope we'll see regulation into the crypto space soon, for now, it's up to us to avoid scams or to speak up against them. So, all of this is to say, be careful where you put your investments. A lot of the crypto sphere is filled with predatory behavior. Don't just put your money in a project because an influencer you like told you to do so. Think critically about where your money is going. And this doesn't just go for, the crypto sphere either. This goes for all aspects of investing. Hopefully governments and society as a whole can begin to crack down on the crypto sphere so it becomes a much safer place. Because it's at the point where literally billions of dollars are being stolen to fund nuclear warheads. I'll end this video off with a section of CoffeeZilla's Libra interview. I hope this can be a wake-up call for those who put their money into these coins. Thanks for watching, and may the force be with you.
So give me your point. So your point is with that though.
So my point is with that, and with Trump or any of these big ones, like it is an insider's game. This is an unregulated casino. Like if you're a retail trader thinking you're gonna go make millions off of meme coins, you better study your fucking ass off. Like how do you think Pump Fund works? Pump Fund, the coin bonds, people put money in. Insiders know about it first. It rips up, and it's who loses last. That's how it's a game. Every single one of these is a game. There's none of them that aren't games.